What's up, guys? Tom here, back at it again with another video. Today we'll be talking about my predictions for where my top free agents will end up this offseason. If you haven't yet, make sure to go check out one of my previous videos where I break down those top free agents and tell you all about them. In my predictions for where some guys will go, some of them are pretty bold predictions that are kind of out there and may not actually happen, but I'd love to see happen. And then on the other hand, I have some picks that are more conservative that I think are more likely to happen. With that being said, let's get into it. So for Masahiro Tanaka, I believe he will re-sign with the Yankees this offseason. He's been there his whole career in the MLB. It seems like he's at home there. The Yankees need him in the rotation and more guys in that rotation to help the Yankees reach a World Series this coming year. They just have to make sure they have good enough pitching for it, and I think Tanaka is the perfect fit for them. Up next is Nelson Cruz. I think he will also re-sign with the Minnesota Twins. He is a very crucial part of their offense, and I don't see him leaving. And also, if he does leave, I don't really see how many teams he can fit in with because he is a DH who is getting older. He doesn't really play in the field, so I think the Twins are his best bet. Up next, we have our first guy that I think will sign with a different team, which is Liam Hendriks. For Liam Hendriks, the top three teams that I think he could go to are the Astros, Phillies, and the Dodgers. The Dodgers coming off a World Series victory. They are looking to solidify their bullpen and find a dominant closer that will be the anchor of their bullpen. The Phillies obviously need bullpen help. They had one of the worst bullpens last year and desperately need help from a guy like Hendriks. The team that I think he'll be going to, which is the Astros, will also need a guy in the back of their bullpen, a closer, because they just put Ozuna on waivers. So if he clears that, he'll be a free agent. So right now they are currently left without a closer. I think the Astros are still contenders. They are a couple free agent signees away from becoming contenders and having a real shot at making a deep run in the postseason again. So that's why I believe Liam Hendriks will be going to the Houston Astros. Up next, we have a teammate of his in Oakland. We have Marcus Semien. I believe he will re-sign with the A's. Despite having a not so good 2020 season, he stepped it up in the postseason for them. And also, the Oakland A's want to have Semien back on the team, and Semien wants to stay in Oakland. So that's just like a perfect matchup right there. But the only thing is if the A's will actually pay Marcus Semien. If they offer him a qualifying offer, it is $18.9 million. So that is quite the hefty price tag for the A's and would make him the highest paid player in a season with the Oakland A's. With that being said, I really think they should get a deal done. Semien is the top shortstop free agent this offseason and may be looking to sign a very lucrative and long deal, because next year there'll be plenty of shortstops in the offseason and free agent market that will potentially dilute his value and not get as much money next offseason. Because of that, I think he could also try to sign a long-term deal with a different team, but we'll have to see how it plays out. I think Marcus Semien will re-sign with the A's. Oof. I think for me, this might have been one of the hardest ones to decide on what team this guy will go to, and that is Marcel Ozuna. Multiple teams in the mix for Marcel Ozuna, and them being the Braves. Obviously, they'll try to re-sign him, but I believe he won't re-sign with the Braves because he'll be asking too much money for them to re-sign him. So when he hits the market, I believe places like Houston, the Chicago White Sox, and also the Texas Rangers are all options. The Rangers right now are in a weird situation. They are definitely trying to sell off and try not to increase their payroll. Matter of fact, they're trying to decrease it right now. So paying Ozuna a lot of money would go against what they're trying to do right now, but I believe he'd be a great fit in Texas because of he'd be able to hit in the DH spot or also play a corner outfield position. Another team would be the Chicago White Sox. Nomar Mazara did not do too good for them, so it could be a replacement for him. Edwin Encarnacion has a $12 million club option. So if they decline it and let him go to free agency, Ozuna could fill that DH spot, but they do have Andrew Vaughn coming up in the system, who could fill that role if needed. But the White Sox are definitely trying to contend right now, and I could definitely see them signing Ozuna. But the team that I really think he'll go to are the Houston Astros. The Astros have all three of their outfielders in free agency right now. George Springer, Michael Brantley, well, who is DH for them most of the time, and Josh Reddick are all free agents. It has been reported that Springer doesn't want to go back to Houston and wants out of it. And if he's gone and Josh Reddick's gone and they don't sign Michael Brantley back to a deal, they definitely need to fill the gap for their offensive production, and I think Marcel Ozuna would provide that offensive production, whether that's in a corner outfield spot or flipping places with Yordan Alvarez, who could either play a corner outfield spot or DH. So I think if they don't sign Michael Brantley and George Springer leaves, watch out for the Houston Astros picking up Marcel Ozuna. Which leads me to my next guy, George Springer. I believe there are three teams that will draw interest in George Springer, which are the Red Sox, Phillies, and Nationals. I think he'll end up going to the Red Sox. He is from Connecticut. He's basically going back home to the Northeast. I think this makes sense too because they can put him in center field, have Verdugo in right, and have Benintendi in left. The Red Sox, they need that offensive production that Mookie Betts had, and I think George Springer could be the closest thing to what Mookie Betts did with the Red Sox. They definitely screwed that up by not re-signing him, but I think this George Springer acquisition would make up for letting Mookie Betts go. We're getting close to the end of the list. Up next, we have DJ LeMahieu. I believe he'll re-sign with the Yankees. I think some interesting places that LeMahieu could sign are the Angels or the Dodgers. If he joins the Dodgers, that would just be a ungodly, absurd lineup, basically having an all-star at every position, it seems like. Besides that, the Angels would be also interesting. They have Simmons in free agency right now. If they don't re-sign him, I could see David Fletcher moving over to short and LeMahieu fills in at second. LeMahieu could be a top of the order bat that helps out Mike Trout and Anthony Rendon in that lineup. But at the end of the day, I think he'll re-sign with the Yankees. He's a core part of why they are so good. He has had basically back-to-back MVP caliber seasons, so I don't think he'll be going anywhere. Even if he asks for a lot of money, I think that Yankees will end up paying it. All right, things are about to get spicy because my prediction for these next two guys are a little bold and out there, but definitely within the realm of possibility. I have Trevor Bauer going to the Los Angeles Dodgers. I can't believe I just said that. I just can't believe I said that. Okay, first I'll begin with saying I think he'll go to a team in California, whether that's the Angels or Dodgers, but the reason why I think he'll go to the Dodgers is he is from California, went to UCLA. He wants to win now. And if he wants to win now, the best team to go to would be the Dodgers. He loves taking one-year contracts for some reason. And if the Dodgers pony up the money of, say, a 1 year, $20 million, 1 year, $25 million deal and get Bauer, that would be absolutely electric, and it would... He's been tweeting about going to all sorts of places, and honestly, he's a big wild card. I don't know where he could end up. He could end up anywhere he wants to go, basically. But my prediction, Los Angeles Dodgers, and it's a quite bold one. I chose J.T. Realmuto as the top free agent, and I believe he will go to the Tampa Bay Rays. Oh my god. Oh my god. You guys are going to hate me for that. This one I think is the most unlikely to happen out of all of these, just for the fact that the Rays don't like to pay their players. Small market team, but hear me out. So, the Rays coming in second place, losing in the World Series, I feel like does something to a team and organization when you're so close to getting that sweet, sweet commissioner's trophy. According to Rob Manfred, a piece of metal. But anyways, if they just had their bats perform better, I think they could have beat the Dodgers. But their bats didn't show up. Randy Arozarena basically smashed every postseason rookie record and record in the books, and they still lost. So with adding JT Realmuto to the mix, that definitely make them an even scarier team. And if their bats show up, that is a team you definitely want to look out for. I think JT Realmuto will definitely be chasing the bag. This is a chance to go get that bread. I don't think the Rays may not be that team, but say if the Rays offer him, say, 6-year, I don't know, $120 million contract, that is definitely possible, and he could go there. That would definitely bolster their lineup, add a solid bat to the lineup, and also have a solid catcher behind the plate to lead their loaded pitching staff. Woo! Well, those were my predictions as to where my top free agents will go this offseason. Don't hate on me, guys, because at the end of the day, these are just predictions. A lot of things can change. It's early in the free agency period, class market, offseason, whatever, blah, blah, blah. A lot of crazy things will probably happen this offseason, and don't hate me if all these predictions are completely wrong, but these are my honest opinions on where I think some guys will end up and where I want to see some guys in the future. Let me know in the comments where you think some of the top free agents will end up. I had a blast making this video, thinking of different scenarios where guys will end up. With that being said, thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.
Perfect.